We all know that HTC has been in quite some poor form of late. Ever since their 1M7 and 1M8 a few years ago, they haven't really capitalized on all of that initial hype. Back then, those phones were the best phones or best Android phones you could buy. But ever since that, HTC's hype has sort of died down. Last year, when HTC was acquired by Google, or part of it at least, people thought that HTC would never make phones again. But they're wrong. They released the U11 before the acquisition, and they also released the U11 Plus after their acquisition, and both of those phones were aiming towards the right direction. I happened to review the U11 and found it to be a great phone, and I have the U11 Plus right now and I'm really enjoying it. The U11 Plus is genuinely a very solid phone, and ever since its launch just a few months ago, people are speculating what HTC has in store for us next year or this year, and it happens to be the HTC U12. I think HTC has a lot riding on the U12 and they're going all out this year. Going by the first renders of the phone, we're seeing a huge display on the phone with bezels on only one side of the display. So 3 bezel-less sides and 1 with a bezel, most probably to accommodate maybe the earpiece, as well as some sort of facial recognition technology like we see on the iPhone X. People are even going as far as saying that the display is going to be a 4K resolution display, but I'm not buying into that just yet. We also see the traditional volume and power rockers that we've grown accustomed to, as well as some sort of USB-C port for charging the phone. But we don't see a headphone jack, and that's sort of become a tradition for HTC phones since the U Ultra, I think, or the U11 at least, where HTC aren't going with a headphone jack and instead are supplying proprietary U-Sonic headphones in order to make the listening experience even more enjoyable. But I don't know how people are sort of liking it, because they kind of like the convenience of a headphone jack. At least that's what I think. I wouldn't be surprised if HTC manages to pack a fingerprint scanner on the back of the phone, as well as their traditional squeeze or edge sense feature, which I think will also come with the U12 as it has come with the U11 and the U11 Plus. Not only is Edge Sense an actual really good feature to have when you're trying to launch the camera, for example, but in addition to that, it's kind of become a signature feature for HTC. And in terms of internals, you'll be looking at the Snapdragon 845 processor, the latest you can find from Qualcomm, as well as up to 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. So just like the U11 Plus with a better CPU inside. And finally, we could be seeing the first ever dual camera setup on an HTC smartphone this year. So I thought they would do it in 2017, but better late than never, right? Although I could, and I suspect that HTC might be tying up with Google and using their software processing in order to experience the portrait mode effects on their phone without having dual camera setups. And this is very possible considering the fact that Google's acquired HTC and they're working really closely. So maybe that's a possibility, and if not, I'm really excited for what HTC brings in a dual camera setup of their own. But back to my initial point, if HTC gets all of this right and in a timely manner, they could really be in business for 2018. Samsung is playing it safe with the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. They're not going for a whole revamped design, and as far as LG is concerned, well, they're still supplying their V30, and I don't know if we're gonna hear anything about the G7 anytime soon, but if HTC plays their cards right, we could be seeing a sort of rejuvenation of the company, and I really wish that happens in 2018. But for now, all we can do is sit and speculate, just like I'm doing right now. Anyways, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it useful. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comments down below or hit me up on my social networks. I'm pretty active there, so I'm gonna reply to whatever you send. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Adios.